Okie dokie. We're all set up here. I'll press the record button. Queued up me commentary or my data regarding the P Diddy, the P Diddy, the Bark drama, however you wish to characterize it. But he's in a right pickle, and it's interesting. It is literally the cultural atomic nucleus of all that is blighting black diaspora, even infected the African continent, Burna Boy and so on and so forth. So this P. Diddy case, and I say that speaking from Newstyle Radio, 98.7 FM, we were the archetype, the template for One Extra, BBC One Extra, another satanic Tim Westwood organisation, part of the Jimmy Savile, Hugh Edwards, the list goes on. So what I postulate, what I put forward, is the Satanism of Jimmy Savile, Hugh Edwards, and other BBC perverts, Tim Westwood, allegedly. I have to add that, Ofcom rules. And now we have a situation where Rock Nation, P. Diddy, Beyonce, throw her name in there as well. All Aleister Crowley Satanists, colonialists, we're back to Lord Curzon again, which ties into BCU, Seleni, BAE Systems, Henry, and that Groucho Club, Satanist group, Channel 4, BBC, etc., etc. So it's literally not being covered with the depth and the analysis that it deserves because they're all in on it. They're all part of it. You see? The Sun newspaper, all your glamour, celebrity this, blah, blah, blah. They were all Diddy's friends. They were all part of Puff Daddy, sucking up to Jay-Z. And we've got to remember, Jay-Z, Beyonce and Diddy, just like the Lammy and Professor Dabadine, Trevor Phillips, Baroness Amos set, they're all Satanist Afro-Nazi idiots. They're all morons. They're all 20th century throwbacks. Waste of spaces. They do not represent black people. They represent themselves. They represent their nouveau riche, faux imitation of Neanderthal European savagery. That's all they are. That's all they'll ever be. And out of 8 billion people on planet Earth, Aston Walker seems to be the only one leading the charge. I don't see any other broadcasters, black, white, whatever, having the courage to connect the dots in a serious journalistic way. Because, quite frankly, they're all in on it. And rather than admit to wrongdoing, rather than admit to their wicked paedophile Satanism, they're going to wait right up until the end when Mr. Diddy, Mr. Sean Combs is fully exposed. And I hope the BBC and Jay-Z, I hope they're fully exposed. This would be the right time for it to happen. And up until that point in time, inshallah wa ta'ala, up until that moment, we're going to get the likes of Anushka. There's this young lady called Anushka. She does a daily update. I always type Tim Westwood and the BBC One Extra. Get a few likes as well on her page. So this idea of journalistic integrity and objectivity is dead. It's gone. Well, it was never there, really. It's all satanic European Neanderthal savagery, quite frankly. and it's coming to a head. Yeah, in a most beautiful way. It's wonderful to sit back and watch the rapid, and the thing is, it's happening at a very structural. Yeah, I'm really exposing my CEBE BCU Steamhouse credentials here. It's a structural problem. It's at a foundational level where it's being destroyed. The Groucho Club, Oxbridge, Satanist elite, and they're monkeying around, they're ape-like Neanderthal monkeying around. It's all collapsing, it's all dying horribly. Sir Lenny, BAE Systems Henry, getting sacked from BCU and getting kicked out of Comic Relief. The rest of them are now gonna feel the tsunami, the deluge of filth that will be swamping the glitterati, celebritati, well, tarty, yeah. But let's focus on the Satanism and the menstrual blood drinking, which is what they're into, what they encourage, the child rape that they encourage, that they indulge in. That's your BBC, that's your Channel 4, yeah? And it's all about to collapse in a very fundamental, foundational way. And the fact that there's these Afro-Nazi satellites like Supercell, Elixir, New Wave Agency, It's a Wrap. I mean, I'm on TikTok, and there's all these French posts about Supercell and Supercell season 2 is gonna be released in. No, it's not. There's no production dates. There's no filming dates been set. Now, Ratman is big on, just like filmmakers generally, with this fetishization of, look at my camera, 8K and blah. So those are the Ari, they're always going on about the Ari, look. So there's nothing on Supercell season 2. There is no production dates have been set. There's no filming. There's no the cast, because the insurance, the filming locations, none of that has been done. So unless Ratman is filming it independently, which is the death blow to these types, Mukhtar Mohammed, New Wave Agency, all these types of people, these BBC type devils. If it's independent, we don't do independent, we're commissioned, well, the commissioner has told us, it's all very much like that, and that's all dying. It's dead. It's over. It's anything two-dimensional. It's just a flip book. IMAX is just a glorified flip book. Remember the flip books with your stick character in the corner? That's all it is. Stick books. Stick books. Books of sticks. Flip books. That's what I meant to say, but stick books sounded good. And that's what you are contending with. This is what you're devoting, wasting your time with this satanic two-dimension. A tree is a real thing. A cloud is a real thing. The sea is a real thing. Human beings are real things. They can't be replicated. They can't be imitated, because Allah created it with kun fayakun. Be, and it is. So all the mockery I'm getting from Professor Afdalak and Seleni Henry and the Groucho Club and the BBC and the mockery, it's all going to blow up in your face. It's all through Diddy. Diddy was your weak link. Jay-Z's going to be your next weak link. He's being sued by Patel. Because this is the thing that's fascinating me. This is for you, Anushka, at the BBC. Yeah? And the One Extra crew, all you One Extra ites. Yeah? You should be covering this. This should be a mainstay. This should be the mainstay of One Extra. But obviously it's not going to be the mainstay of One Extra. Because, you know, Diddy and all the satanic bullying and abuse of black women, that's what you're into. We know that because of Tim Westwood, yeah? Allegedly. I have to add that. Ofcom rules. So, the stage that we're at, where this satanic devil mischief of Rock Nation, we've got the Megan Thee Stallion thing and Tory Lanez, of course, being stabbed, and it's just horrific. Anyway, back to Supercell. Yeah, sorry, I lost my train of thought there. So on the French TikTok, they're trying to say that it's coming out in all. No, it's not. There's no production. Contracts haven't been signed. And Jay-Z has kicked Rapman out of Rock Nation. He's no longer managed by Rock Nation. So there is no connection. And Jay-Z is in control of Supercell. He owns Supercell. He runs Supercell. He closed the deal for Netflix. And my source is Unilad. If you type Rapman 0% Unilad on Google or your favourite browser, other browsers are available, of course, then you'll see that Rapman owns 0% of Supercell because it's a Jay-Z operation. Clarence 13X, if you will, 5% a nation, blah, 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 blah. And this idea that, and putting out these MI5 CIA secret drivel propaganda, if you will, Edward Bernays propaganda, and because people don't follow Company's House, they're not looking at Elixir, they're not looking at New Wave, just gassing up, yeah, up, diddy, block up, diddy, up, block, or whatever it is. You know, no one's doing the deep dive. You have to do the deep research. But anyway, I did a spoof, Supercell is Dead, on YouTube, and I've listed all the Company's House, so you can go and look for yourself. The producers and the production listings. So I'll put it there, see if it gets updated. You know, if it's updated, if season 2's a go, then it's a go. They'll make it. The idea that, you know, you're going to turn around and say, oh, Aston, look, it's come out. Look, season 2's here. You're wrong. So what? It's no skin off my nose. I'm merely looking at this from an academic, scholarly research perspective. Black science fiction, overseen by Jay-Z, when Britain is the home of H.G. Wells. Yes? And then who the hell is Jay-Z? He's a thicko. He's a dummy. P. Diddy is a dummy. Beyonce, they're dummies. Yeah? Idiots like Trevor Phillips or Baroness Amos or Professor Dabadine. Dummies. Intellectual idiots. Okay? Lightweights. They contribute nothing. Absolutely nothing. You'll get a greater contribution from the youth in Kenya, Ghana, Burkina Faso. They're making a contribution. Not these Afro-Nazi muppets, idiots, Satanists, godless heathens. That's who we're dealing with. And their time is at an end. That's right. It's just inevitable. Yeah, they're dying off. You know, you've got to deal with there's this thing on TikTok. It's really good, where someone's like on their phone or with their girlfriend or significant other or whatever, and then someone like, I'll play one later. Actually, I'll see if I can find one. And they make this sound, it's like a ghost. He whizzes by, and they lose something, and it's hilarious. Why is it hilarious? Because whatever the black-skinned, true human, non-monkey Neanderthal hybrid, true African, black Adamic people do for entertainment, it's always going to be brilliant. You know, before I came out, I was listening to Radio 4, BBC Radio 4, the Neanderthal ape, European savages, and the cleverati, and the whoop, whoop, whoop. This is really funny. It's all reactionary. It's just reaction. In that Elizabethan John 007D theatrical way. There's no substance to it. It's dead. the whole colonial, it's just dying. It's crumbling. And I'm saying all this. You know, I'm saying all this just to mark time. I'm just marking time. I've dropped off my second copy of my book, the Curzon Building, for the Black Book Festival, I think it's called. I'm not sure. But anyway, it was over in Moseley anyway, the Exchange, big up the Moseley Exchange. So it's a festival of black literature, I'm assuming, yeah? I have no idea as to the depths of it, or the organisers. I've sent some emails. It'd be very pleasant, you know, that if I email BCU Steam, they won't reply. But for some bizarre reason, unbeknownst to me, the Black Book Festival, they respond to my emails in timely fashion, I should say. So kudos to them, whoever they are. Bless their hearts. So I don't know where that's going to go. I don't know why they wanted 2 copies. I thought 1 was enough, but so I've fulfilled my contractual obligations. And let us see what happens, because as I've said, and the idea of this Friday gathering is to look at the spoken word, poetry. I read out my entry into the Benjamin Zephaniah writers, future writers, I believe, BCU. So I said I read out my poem. I won't read it again, but well, I might do actually. In fact, I'll read it later on. In fact, you know what? I'm going to read it every week. Yes, I'll read the poem every week. Okay. But so yeah, the idea and the hope that, and I can only speak for black men, yeah, as a black man myself, you know, just knowing the people that I do around the city, from Chelmsford, Shardon, Neachel, King's Standing, Northfield, or, you know, all the rest of it. So many stories, so many great stories, so many interesting people, so many interesting lives. And to encourage literature, writing, whether fiction or you know, factual, there's just so much in Birmingham to be written, to be placed on record, and it's just mind blowing why this isn't actually happening, why this isn't a thing. But again, the devil worshipping paedophile academic and cultural elite of, you know, Aussie bar bull worshipping Satanists and MI5 whatever, Afro Nazi whatever, they'll do what they you know, they'll do exactly what they do. But they're dying. It's dying off. It's just ridiculous. It's just embarrassing. And the whole Diddy, and the next thing will be Supercell, because this bold claim that it's coming out on the 20th of August, this is from Just Watch, yeah? Just Watch, which are not credible. They're so not credible as a source. Yet Google, if you type in Supercell Season 2, you know, it comes up with Just Watch as a source. It's ridiculous. It's really, you know, the insanity, this, and you have to go back to the 1920s. The Garden of Allah Hotel, Hollywood, Satanism, Edward Bernays, propaganda, and so on and so forth. This fake it till you make it, these lies upon the big lie, Goebbels, Nazi big lie, and so on and so forth. It's just falling apart, mate. It really is. I am, in fact, let me just check now. So I'm going to my Gmail. In fact, no, let me just go to the Guinness World Records, yeah? So this is guinnessworldrecords.com, okay? So let me just type me so I'm doing this live on air. So let me check the status and I can read out to you. I'm just logging in, yeah? I'm doing it in real time just to really emphasize the level of commitment here on Newstyle Radio 98.7 FM, the Obsidian Reflector Show, Black Mirror. Yeah, you can see what I did there. All right, good. I know you're. Whoever listens, I just bumped into Michelle. I met her at Port Loop. Bless her heart. And she said, "Oh, what are you doing? How are you?" I said, "I'm going to do a show later on, 8 till 10." I said, "Oh, I'll tune in." I said, "Don't tune in. I'm just making up as I go along." I said, "For heaven's sake, give me a couple of weeks, yeah." But she said, "Oh, I'm sure you'll be fine." You know, nice people that I meet. I meet so many lovely people. I don't meet them at universities or any networking event. I just meet them in the streets of Birmingham. Yeah, Port Loop, lovely people. They're lovely people, of course. Yeah, but if you big up yourself, Michelle, if you did bother to tune in, well, I shouldn't say bother, but bless your heart. I really like Michelle. She's top. She's a top gal. She's very she's got a great aura. Her presence is one of solidness, but yet esoteric. Yes, but she's great. Yeah, she really is. Good, right. I'm just logging in now. Just typing in my password. Yeah, right. I am not a robot. I'm a human being. Oh, look. All right, let me read them out to you for posterity. Let's do this for posterity. So, the world's first, and it only costs you £5, by the way. So if you've done anything, I think BCU, a chap ran a marathon or half marathon in a costume, and this is a university of engineering, and it's getting world records because someone ran in a costume, not for anything that they invented, like a graphene sensor. Oh, I did that. Or a UVC LED water. Oh, Aston did that, yeah. But for someone running in a costume. This is how moronic BCU is, yeah. But anyway, that's another story. So, the world's first 4K AI-generated sci-fi feature film movie created on the 27th of the 3rd, 2025. Oh, pending. Yeah, pending. So, they're still looking into it. Whether Aston Walker made the first AI sci-fi feature film, because Tom Patton, Where the Robots Grow, claims, and Forbes magazine, the venerable Forbes magazine of the billionaires, whatever, blah blah blah, it's all BS, by the way, have made the bold claim that Where the Robots Grow, he's also a Brummie, I think, Tom Patton, much younger than me, of course. I think he was born 1985. Claimed to have made the first animated AI movie. Complete lies, because they uploaded in October and I uploaded on September. So the Guinness World Records are expending resources to determine whether September comes before October. That's another story. Right, good. On to the next one. The world's first AI science fiction series to air on Simon Cowell's Lounges TV as a live stream broadcast and simultaneously on an Ofcom approved community radio station, Newstyle Radio 98.7 FM. Catch us every Wednesday on that one. Pending. And that was 27th of the 5th, need glasses, 2025. So there you go. Now, the natural question is, Aston, why have you applied for 2 world records? Well, the answer is very simple. If I get the world record for the first AI, if the Guinness World Record proves that September comes before October, then the BBC, Groucho Club, Channel 4, devil worshipping, Satan worshipping, MI5, Oxbridge, Imperial, whatever, class, Groucho Club class. They're like, nah, it's just the fluke. It's just the fluke. Because that's how they taught it. I grew up on a council estate, but I did well for myself. I worked for Banijay, a BOA, Dutch media company, French, I think, as well. Anyway, so I thought, let me apply for 2 world records, yeah, and show them who they're effing with, yeah, because this state of affairs, it simply can't continue. It's ridiculous. It really is ridiculous. And again, the reason why I do what I do, it's for the grave. It's for my grave, so that when I'm dead and in my grave, I can see what all of this means, make sense of it. Because how the BBC and Channel 4 and Netflix and Hollywood didn't innovate with AI streaming, yet the only person who seems to have any sort of forward vision, irony of ironies, is Simon Cowell. I spoke to his team last week. Very nice people. They respond to my emails. And again, this thing of not responding to Aston's emails in Birmingham, it's amazing. It really is. Whereas Simon Cowell and his crew, no problem. Even though I could pick up a phone now and call the team, Lounges TV. They're just lovely people. So there you have it. There's your update. Big shout out to Itamar. Yeah, if you tuned in, if you're locked in. It's all gravy, it's all good. Big shout out to Alice Murphy. Bless your heart. Yeah. Lovely, lovely times. Fun memories when all the crew was together. When he was winning awards, that's 2015. All gravy, all good. Newstyle Radio 98.7 FM. This is Aston Walker and the Obsidian Reflector Show. Right, let me play you some stuff. I think this is quite important. I think you need to hear this. I just want to duck it. I just want to put this recording on YouTube. Just to mark time in history. I'm no prophet, of course. The Prophet Muhammad being the seal, Khatam al-Nabi, the seal of the prophets. This is just analysis. I was a systems analyst, both in the private and the public sector. And, you know, it's just crazy watching the devil worshippers, the Satanists, just the Confederacy of Dunces, to use a literary reference. The Confederacy of Dunces just collapsing under the weight of their own dung. They'll quite enjoy that, to be honest. You know, just suffocating under the weight of their own BS. Their PhD professor, Michel Foucault, Jean-Paul Sartre, you know, paedophile French philosophers. Who the hell needs to read any of that crap? Dying under the weight of their own BS, yeah? Mocking Aston for, you know, his grave and dedication to the grave and remembrance of Allah, because that's what I get mocked for. That's what I get ridiculed for. You see, being a Shia Muslim, cursing Abu Bakr and cursing Aisha and cursing Umar, who fled. You know, I found out today, Umar fled from, not only did he flee from Uhud, but Khaybar and Hunain. So when they quote Quran 3:155, well, Umar didn't learn, did he? So we continue to curse him. Other Sunni opinions are available. We have to say that for balance, of course. This is a scholarly, academic discussion. So there you have it. You know, under the weight of folly, of farcicalness, of just idiocy, real idiocy, that this veneer of, like, David Lammy is the best example I can really get. I met him in 2012. Such a hypocrite, such a bloated, bloviated, satanic, fat hypocrite. Yeah, he's just horrible. He was horrible then. He's even worse. I think he said, "Oh, good luck, mate. Good luck." Just patronising. Just the worst Afro-Nazi I've ever had the displeasure. And being in the same room as Trevor Phillips and David Daberdeen, trust me, that was tough, but I endured. Yeah. So these fraudsters, these imposters, these detritus of crap, yeah, they just irritate my spirit. And we're very fortunate that they're going to be gone soon. And because it's all about youth. I'll be gone soon. This is what I call my artistic movement is victories in the grave. Because, I'll pop my clogs off any minute now. I'm old at 55, you see. And it's that realization of one's mortality and the legacy that we're leaving for young people, for the next generation. Because it's all about them, you see. It's their time. But anyway, I was going to say I digress, but I didn't digress really. I got a lot off my chest there. Right, here's Trump on Diddy. You need to hear this.
You mentioned once in 2012 that Diddy was a good friend of yours back then. He has since found himself in some very serious legal trouble.
Yeah, that's true.
Would you ever consider pardoning him?
Well, nobody's asked. You had to be the one to ask, Peter, but nobody's asked. But I know people are thinking about it. I know they're thinking about it. I think some people have been very close to asking. First of all, I'd look at what's happening, and I haven't been watching it too closely, although it's certainly getting a lot of coverage. I haven't seen him. I haven't spoken to him in years. He used to really like me a lot, but I think when I ran for politics, that relationship busted up. From what I read, I don't know. He didn't tell me that, but I'd read some little bit nasty statements in the paper all of a sudden. It's different. You become a much different person when you run for politics and you do what's right. I could do other things, and I'm sure he'd like me, and I'm sure other people would like me, but it wouldn't be as good for our country. As we said, our country's doing really well because of what we're doing. So it's not a popularity contest. So I don't know. I would certainly look at the facts. If I think somebody was mistreated, whether they like me or don't like me, it wouldn't have any impact on me. Mr. President.
There you go. There you go. So, just to get some context of the stupidity of Channel 4 News and BBC News and One Extra, just so you get into context of how satanically, how moronic and obtuse these organisations are, institutions are. That is the president of the most powerful nation on planet Earth, who is giving some airtime to the fundamentals and the importance culturally and politically of this particular trial. Now, one would assume there would be some in-depth reflection and analysis from the venerable scholars and reporters and news agencies, but there isn't, because they're all part of it. They're all Diddies, they're all Jays, they're all Rock Nation. They're all part of this non-sin, paedophile Satanism. It's all the same. And the fact that they fought, again, Jean-Paul Sartre, Michel Foucault, that's Khomeini. There's a link to Khomeini there, yeah. They don't operate in the future. They operate in the lustful now, in the moment, because they're godless. They don't believe in God. They don't believe in the afterlife or the grave. And as such, their reactionary nature is such that they supported Diddy, they supported Jay-Z. Jay-Z's coming, don't worry. He's coming. Beyonce, that's all coming. But because they're reactionaries, because they're godless, Satanists, they really think they can wing it. They really think the public is stupid. Us, that's the lay people like myself and the unwashed masses. And it's going to blow up in their faces so atomically, or like a Russian hypersonic nuke. Yeah. And it's just hilarious. I just find it hilarious. And like I said, I'm no prophet. It's all in my book. Got to promote a book, The Curzon Building. I have a sneaking suspicion you'll be hearing about this book quite soon. We'll see. But you know what I should do? I should do a reading. In fact, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell a story, and then we shall next week commence with public readings of the Curzon Building. Why not? Why not? Maybe compile it for an audio book. I think that would be a good, useful use of the time to, on air, read the book, because I'm expecting in the next, let's say 2 years, under the initiative of the Black Book Festival, I think that's what it's called, I'm not sure what it's called. You've got the Benjamin Zephaniah BCU initiative. So I'm expecting at least 10 400 page novels to be coming out in the next 12 months. Yeah? Let's see what happens. Let's mark some time here. Because I can't be the only one. I mean, I've gone through my world records. Attempts, I should say. They're pending. Computer games, you've covered. We've covered computer games. And computer game development. I don't think we need to tread that. Because Daniel Greaves, I've got to big up Daniel Greaves. He's doing great work with C++. Do check him out. He posts on Facebook. Look up the name Daniel Greaves. And it's just wonderful to see the development of serious engineering, serious programmers in Birmingham. I did ask a chap, I'm not going to name him, I was going to name him, but I don't want to name him. He gets on my nerves. So he's in the arty-farty BOM and all that malarkey. And I put to him a challenge. I said, bring me 5 game developers, C++ from London. No reply. Nothing. Hot air. Nothing. So they're defeated. And anyway, the AI systems are getting very, very good at software development, software engineering. So it's interesting time. And of course, there's big layoffs. The Black Panther game by EA, Electronic Arts, has been cancelled. Yeah. It's been cancelled. No more. So, it's just crazy. Right, let me get into storytelling. Let me tell a story. You know, I don't feel like it. I was going to tell a story, but I really don't feel like it. And it's a story I've told before, really. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up there. I've spoken for 38 minutes. That's what the recording says. So this was the Obsidian Reflector. I hope you enjoyed the broadcast. I hope you enjoyed the attack, all-out attack on the Diddy, One Extra, Jay-Z Rock Nation, BBC One Extra, Satanist, MI5, Axis, which I relate to Sunni and Shia polemics, of course, because it's all very similar to the satanic Sunni Abu Bakr Saqifa cult. May Allah curse them. Other Islamic scholarly opinions are available, but Allah gave each human being free will. So threats of chopping off of heads and killing and stab, which I've had, of course, threats of rape, which I've had, of course, you know, are just not cutting it. Because, and I think I said this to someone on a post, I shan't mention the name of the post, But I embraced Islam in 1991 for what comes after death. I think that's quite important. Yeah, it's not. I didn't become a Muslim for what's before death. It's what's after death. That's why my art is called Victory is in the Grave. And if you hashtag Victory is in the Grave, you'll find us. Yeah, you'll find our works and our research. Newstyle Radio 98.7 FM. You have listened to the Obsidian Reflector with Aston Walker. Catch us next week where there'll be more interesting stuff. Peace out.
You know that it's a loss.